Hi, everyone. Welcome to Research Communications, Resource Tips and Tools. Today, I'm happy to present this information to all the faculty and PhD students and just let you know that if you ever have any questions, you can email the Marketing Communications team at any given time. Our names and emails are available in the Sky website directory, but today we have Marissa Anima. She's the Assistant Director of Marketing Communications. Lorraine Seabrook is our marketing writer and top creator here at the school. Today, we're going to talk about helping you get your research agenda out to the publics that you want to reach. So let's start off by talking about what are your research goals. And if you're not certain of your goals right now, that's an okay thing too. So we're here to help you make those decisions. So some of them might be updating your faculty website or creating a new personal website, highlighting those projects, those grant projects, different things that you want to work on in a collaborative fashion. Do you want to gain awareness for your scholarship? Do you want to obtain the attention of specific reporters, groups or foundations or advocates of your work? We can help you find those groups, or maybe you already know who they are. You just don't know how to get in touch with them. Do you want to grow your audience on social media? I think that's usually everyone's goal, is to engage more audiences on social media and targeting the ones that will make the most for your research, make the most uptick for your research. Do you want to use social media to expand or enhance your research? In different platforms such as Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn are great avenues, YouTube, and have you thought about TikTok? Because there's a lot of scholarship on TikTok. It's just, what is the right way to use these tools? There's a lot of tools that the marketing and communication team has at its disposal that you might not be aware of. So I want to take some time and go over them. Of course, we talked about some website guidance. So when you're a new faculty member, a new PhD student, you'll get a template, a website template, and I will email it to you and work with you on filling in the appropriate forms and the fields. And at any given time, you can update any of those fields on your Sky website profile. Maybe you want a faculty website template for your personal site, which we just talked about. We're using the WordPress network right now, and you would email the web team and they would get in touch with you for a meeting, and we'll talk more about that. Do you need help with PR? A lot of times we just want to get the word out about a project or a research grant, and findings, which are very, very important and can help shape your research agenda. This year, we're working on pitching sheets with Carol, and we'll talk more about that in this presentation. Do you need a new headshot or any kind of images for your website? We can help with that as well. We have a photographer that can be called in to get new headshots or new images for your website. That includes your personal website as well. Do you need logos? The Rutgers logo, the Sky logo, different formats. We'll tell you where those are located in this presentation. Do you need social media guidance? Again, the Marcom team is here to help you, we can help you look at analytics to see if you're growing your audiences in the right directions. We can look at the specific platforms and give you guidance on which ones you should use to get your message out. Do you need help with PowerPoint templates or research poster templates? This PowerPoint is actually our new PowerPoint for 2020, 2021. And we also have an accompanying poster template that you can use when you go to conferences. When we start looking at your Sky website profile, it's very important to keep it updated. And so every semester, I usually send an email at the beginning, letting you know it's time to update your website profile. All you need to do is send the edits to webhelp@cominfo.rutgers.edu, and we take care of it within 48 hours. If we have questions, we'll go back and forth with you. Some things that you can think about updating every semester are your office hours, your CV, which is really, really important. I will look at your CV and pass it on to Carol. Carol reviews your CV as well to look at new publications, new books, new projects. We also pass along your CV to the research team because they find valuable information on your CV as well. One thing that's also really important is to make sure you have your research links, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, ORCID, and it's important when you're working with Craig on these different links, on these different websites, to include all your publications in your books, and then also to make sure that you're using the name of the school in appropriate fashion. So we have proper naming conventions for specifically looking at Google Scholar and ResearchGate, and we'll be meeting with you one-on-one to make sure that those are up to date. That way, when we are searching for our faculty members, PhD students, we can find them. So it's really, really important that we all have the same naming conventions for the school and department. Also on your website, you can add your publications, your books, and many of you have more than 5 publications. As you know, on that field on the website, you can only add 5 selected publications. So we have a different area on your profile named additional resources where you can add more pubs, more awards, videos, and most people do take advantage of this field, and we can work with you to put whatever you like at that point in that section. So definitely you can always reach out to us. Also, we want to make sure, and this is part of the meeting with Carol to review your pitching spreadsheet. We look at your research keywords and we aim for 6 to 8 words at max. And when we meet with you one-on-one, we'll talk more about those words and make sure that you're right in the right category, 6 to 8, because that's really, really important to keep the research keywords down to what really explains your current research. So creating a personal website, like I said earlier, we're using the WordPress network right now. You will be able to meet with the web team. We will meet one-on-one with you, have a meeting, and we will discuss your needs, your audiences, the goals of your website, and you will be able to edit your website yourself. So in this case, you won't need to wait for us to help you with the edits. If you want images of a research group that you want to put in your personal website, we can hire the photographer to come out and take shoot the research group. Logos, we can take care of that too. So basically anything that the school would support would be on this WordPress network, and we're available to help, but you will have complete control on editing the site after we meet with you the first time. Images. Many of you probably don't know that Rutgers has an extensive digital asset library, and you have access to it. So you just use the link right there, and you'll go on and put in your net ID, and you will be able to look at images from all over campus, all the different campuses, and you just really, it's like a search tool. You can put in Scarlet Night, and you will get 100 pictures of the Scarlet Night, and you can download them. You just need to give a short explanation on what you're going to do with the image, and it downloads immediately. So that's really like a hidden asset that everyone has access to. Also, Sky has over 40,000 images in our own digital library. And again, if you are looking for specific image, just reach out to me or the team and just tell me what you want. And I can share a box folder with you with those images, or we can create a new folder for you with images. Likewise, we can call the photographer into your classroom or your office or your research space. We will be taking headshots every semester now that we're back on campus. So that will be the call out for that will be coming very shortly. We try to do that definitely in the fall and definitely in the spring. And again, if something interesting is going on in your classroom that you want images for, please let me know. And the logos, we have multiple logos and multiple formats, and they're all stored in the Outlook faculty and staff group. If you don't have access to that, PhD students do not have access to that, please let me know and I can grab those logos for you and make a box folder where they can be stored. So one really important thing that we're going to talk about today is about getting your research out there into the general population and also to targeted populations. But the first step is to let us know. A lot of times we find out about research third hand, second hand, and if once you have some research that you want to get out into the public, call us, email us, tweet at us, let us know. We are very happy to work with you. Our process is Carol and I will review it, and then Carol will pitch it to Rutgers Today. Our beat reporter is Megan Schulman, and she works with us. And so if Megan and Rutgers are interested in your research, they will then connect with you and they'll write an article and put it in Rutgers Today, and they'll get the word out via social media. If that happens, we put that article on our website, and we also do social media as well. Sometimes your research or a topic comes up where we want to use a media advisory. So a good example of this is just this past week, we did a media advisory on Putin and the Ukraine war and misinformation in the deepfake videos. So we had an idea that maybe we could do a media advisory and get somebody's name out there. So Britt Paris is working on that type of research. So we did a quick media advisory. And Carol wrote it up, and it goes out to reporters, and then reporters know that Britt Paris is available to comment on this national topic that's going on right now, international topic. And so media advisories are very short term, and they're usually done in response to a national or New Jersey or a national international event where our faculty members have the expertise to talk on. The Rutgers Today stories are something such as you have a grant, you did some research and you have a finding that is applicable to the state of New Jersey or national agenda, and then we write an article for. So it's two different ways to get the word out. Last spring, Megan joined us for a media training workshop, and that workshop is on the research portal, and you can find it and you can watch it. It was about an hour long. She talked about media training and how important it is for PhD students and new faculty members. And so you can access that on the research portal. If Rutgers Communication isn't interested in the research, and that can happen for many reasons. You know, Sky will always cover it. So when we cover it, we could do an article, we could do social media, we could create a video, we could really work with you to tailor that to what you want. We could do all the different things that we just talked about, an article, social media, and video, and then get the word out to the audiences. We also this year have really taken a big step forward in helping our faculty with PR assistance, and Carol has created these individual pitching sheets. And if Carol and I have not met, and Craig haven't met with you yet, we'll be meeting with you in the spring and summer. And these pitching sheets evaluate and really display all your media hits that you've been, you know, when you've been quoted by the media. They look at your social media platforms. They look at your ResearchGate, ORCID ID. They make sure that that's all in line. They look at your research keywords. They look at the keywords that you speak onto the media keywords. And so we usually have about a 30-minute discussion, and we try to connect with you on ways that the research communications team can help you, whether that be, you know, getting at your research to a specific reporter or a group of reporters, or if it's looking at your social media and, you know, who are those groups on Twitter that you want to get your research out to. So the purpose really is to hone in and evaluate the best way to get your research to the right groups in the most timely fashion. And we use Muck Rack in the past. Some of you probably understand and have used Meltwater, but these tools are media placement tools that allow us to put in the faculty's name, the research topics that you are working on, then create a list of reporters so that when you are ready to get out your word about your research or a specific finding, we can pitch it right to a specific group of reporters. So it really allows us to target, it's a targeted pitch versus just putting it out on social media and hoping that somebody will pick up on it. So a lot of effort and resources have been put towards these pitching sheets, and they're living documents, meaning that we will update them every year, and we will continue to meet with all the faculty members, and the Dean's Groups has access to them so that they can pull them. If anything, if a reporter came to them, for example, and wanted to know who is the expert on media integrity, they could use that. They could search in box for the specific PhD student or faculty member. We also share these pitching sheets with Rutgers Communications so that Megan has them, and sometimes she'll sit in on our meetings as well. We are also extremely active on HARO, Help a Reporter Out. I'm sure Carol has probably reached out to some of you about that and quoted. We also are thrilled to, you know, profile a current student or alumni on our website for each of our academic programs. We have profiles on students, and what this does in alums, what it does is it really showcases the degree programs and the satisfaction with our school, our faculty. And so this is just an example of one that we did, but on any of the website program pages, you can see, if you go to like the Master of Information program news, you'll see a whole bunch of alumni and student profiles. As well, under the department pages, under the About tab, you will see news for the department, and they will include the student and alumni showcases articles. And Lorraine has been doing a great job with all of that with us for helping us. Thank you. Social media. So we are on social media, as you guys know, and we have a social media intern that does a great job helping us really identify the voice. Each platform has a different voice. And our team also works with social media. So there's, at any given time, there's probably 6 or 7 people using our social media, and we're all trained and we're, you know, very active on it. So social media can help you get your research agenda out there. If you have an account on a platform, my best advice is to be active on it. At least try to post once a week. And some tips might be to like engage in relevant discussions, ask questions, generate solutions. You know, you want to, it's about gaining engagement and of course gaining followers, but really engaging in a topic. You can try to link back to a publication. So if you have a new pub, you could say, hey, this is my new publication. You can download it here and, you know, give the audience information about your publications. You could do multiple tweets in a row if you're using Twitter and, you know, really give the highlights of the article and a call to action. What do you want your audience to do with that information? A while back, I sent an email out to faculty and staff, a PhD students about social media, the dark side of social media. And there is definitely a dark side. And we would not want anybody to have any kind of threats or, you know, threatening messages sent to them. But of course, we know sometimes this happens. When it does, please do not delete any of the message. You can archive them and reach out to us immediately. Please reach out to me. I will let the Dean's Group know about it. And I will also contact Rutgers Communications. And then if we need to take further action, we will definitely do so. But we do not want anybody to have threatening messages. And so we want to make sure that we, you know, if that happens, that you reach out to us. Using Twitter, we're going to focus a little bit on Twitter now. Twitter is a great tool, and over the last like 4 or 5 years, you can really see how Twitter has grown. And it's actually, you know, there's many threads on there for academics. Before, you know, sometimes people were afraid to be on Twitter, but now I see a lot of academics are on Twitter showcasing their research and their publications and talking about their projects. So, you know, we want to help you and, you know, ways you can increase your visibility, spread the word about your research, publicize your article, you know, because downloads are the key, is one of the key tools in citations. And that all goes back to your ResearchGate profiles and also the ORCID ID and all the open source things that you guys are working on with the library. You can also connect with other academics or advocates in your field. And then once you have a list of these advocates or academics, we can add them to your pitching sheet so that when you have research to talk about, then we can send it directly to your advocates. And so we can put it right in front of them, because we always ask during the meeting, if you have research, who do you want it to go to and how? And so that's really, really important, because we just don't want to throw it out there. We want to be very dedicated and very directed in our pitches to the media or your advocates in your field. You can use Twitter to stay informed, share resources, ask questions, and connect directly with reporters covering your research area. As we start digging into your research area, Carol will keep a list of the advocates and reporters that are covering your research beats. And then again, when it comes time for you to announce, you know, a big finding, we will go back to those lists that Carol's keeping in Meltwater, and also now in, I can't remember the name of it, but the other media placement tool that we're using, I've completely blanked, but we will contact them and we'll be able to put out that information directly to those reporters and see if there's any pickup on that. Tips for tweeting about your research. So when you're doing this yourself, you know, announce your publication work. And I think a lot of you have been doing that recently. I've seen that, which is fabulous. And then you obviously you're tagging us in that so that we can retweet it, and then, you know, again, pitch it to Rutgers Today or write an article on your research findings. You know, make sure that your post describes the article and topic accurately. Again, a lot of people are using multiple tweets to do that now. You can use hashtags. We have hashtags that we use at our school, but you can make up your own hashtags for your own research. And, you know, don't be afraid to do that and then continuously use them. One we use a lot is PhD chat. We use RUSCI, and then you can go back and look at the results of your hashtags. You can consider, you know, definitely make sure that you have an image or a video. Obviously, you know, from using social media, anything with an image or a video generates more likes, more engagement. So, you know, think about that. Try to be creative. If you need help, reach out to us. Some of the tools, we have a graphic designer on staff, but we also use Canva. So if you have experience with that, it's a great tool to use. Engage in Twitter conversation. This may lead to invites to speak at conferences or events, and also growing of your followers, of course. and review monthly stats on Twitter to examine how the platform is working for you. I suggest that with all your social media platforms. These tips work well also for LinkedIn. So, just think about that. And the end of the presentation, we're going to ask if anybody has any questions. And I don't think anybody has any questions, but I thank you for joining us today. And if you ever have any questions, please reach out to the marketing and communications team. And good luck with your research. And we definitely will be calling on you for pitching meetings and such. And have a good day.